This Week 5 PLL picks is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their pick 8. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, your place for AI picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan. Real money, Kramer. What's happening, Kramer? Dog.
No, we go from doing one show to another.
Yes, just wrapped up our last VSiN show out here in Las Vegas, but the grind never stops. We got Week 5 PLL picks to discuss. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Hopefully everyone has a happy and safe 4th of July. No Jason Pierre-Paul's out there. Don't blow your own hand off.
That's not nice.
Why would you
bring that? Why would you bring that up?
It's an important. This is the time you discuss it, Ryan. I mean, it's an important message, especially to our audience. Fireworks safety.
It's true. It's true. I do have something positive to bring up because we were watching a clip where Mark Schlereth was just absolutely destroying Lamar Jackson, and he was wearing a sick ass Denver Outlaws t-shirt. So it spreads, as our boy Rothstein says.
Yes, it is. Everyone has PLL fever, including our guests joining us. CJ will be joining us, but since we're doing this show remote, a little easier to do one guest at a time. Join us to talk all things PLL. Dan, Newbie, Alexander. What's happening, Newbie?
Boy, the second that you guys brought me on, my dog decided to bark again, just like she did on the end of the VSiN hit. So it was apropos that we were like, dude, let's bet some dogs this weekend. And then she's just down there like, rawr, rawr. So yeah, literally, she just loves your guys' show. So she's a big fan of the program. Is Winnie the Weenie downstairs?
Winnie the Weenie. Okay, I like that. Winnie the Weenie sounds like a winner you got there for a dog. Speaking of dogs, what is our Waterdogs finally got their first win? Did they listen to me by getting the face-off expert? Many will say yes. So I was stoked about that. And yeah, who knew? You actually win a couple face-offs, you win. Also, I do think we're on to something with the Blaze auto unders. Any games, Blaze is a goaltender. Chaos, of course, have the bye week this week. Boston Cannon's homecoming. So much to get to. Christian B in the chat saying Waterdogs are back. ZD Mills watching from Chicago airport, trying to make it back to Detroit from Denver. What a weekend. We got a lot going on. But Newbie, let's take a look at the slate. What's jumping out at you here?
Dude, I will say you guys are 1,000,000% onto something with Blaze and the unders. You're going to start to notice that when he's in cage, automatically lowest total of the week is going to be whatever game Blaze is playing in. And typically, they go under, like even with totals that have been as low as 22 and 21.5 games with Blaze in net. What is that? 7-3 to the under with even totals that low. So definitely something to keep an eye on as we move forward. But as you said, he's not playing this weekend. I guess the thing that stands out to me is that we have not only one 2.5 point underdog, we have 2 this week, and that's really just a huge way that I made money betting on the PLL before the lines got a little bit sharper, was just taking the 2.5 point dogs blindly. And it was something almost like 75%. That's come back to the pack now, but it's still 15-8 year over year, just taking 2.5 point dogs. So those 2 definitely stood out to me. Kramer, is our 3.5 wins for the Redwoods? That's cooked, right? Like, there's no way we're getting 4 wins with this team. It
Kramer, you're winless Woods. Your winless Woods.
Not with the way the league is giving them these just once again you get the opening night game against the homecoming team. I mean, every week I can pick apart the decisions made by the suits in the league office.
I'm with you. I'm a card carrying California Redwoods fan. I'm with you. This is the other week. Sean and I were going to have to storm the Capitol. I mean, storm the league offices if there was not a face-off guy for the Waterdogs, but those hallowed halls stayed safe. We may have to threaten with a storming of the office if the Redwoods don't get a win, because the scheduling, I'm with you. They're the last winless team that's sitting here. And historically, I've loved betting the Woods as dogs. The part that worries me is this Cannons team is just absolutely rolling. So, I think they're one of the hottest teams heading here into week 5. They get to do the homecoming game. So that 2.5, it feels too good to be true on this one, but I want to bet it. I can't get it.
What about
pulling back the curtain, Sean, real quick? I do wish that when we were chatting with Newbie before the season, someone gave me the heads up that choosing the Redwoods would be a horrible decision, and I should have just stuck with the New York Atlas.
No, I mean, I tried to push you in that direction. Remember when we were chatting, I was like, what? Crane's not going with the New York team? You're like, no, I want to spread my fan allegiances. I have the email thread. So a plea was made.
It was pretty great.
A plea was made.
They go, so we'll get you Atlas jersey for Kramer, some Atlas gear. And like, no. He's rolling with the Woods.
I want to be miserable in every sport.
Well, we saw Schlereth. We played a clip of him on our VSiN show, Dog and Lamar Jackson. We're riffing off that. He was rocking the Denver Outlaws t-shirt that Kramer mentioned up top. Denver Outlaws. We got Brennan O'Neill fever. Denver Outlaws. What do you make of their game?
Dude, I'll tell you what. I was talking with you guys on VSiN, and this game has the feeling of the lamb to the slaughter, the sheep to the slaughter, because who doesn't want to bet Brennan O'Neill as a 2.5-point underdog? Atlas coming off their first loss. Like, I was hoping that we were going to get, like a potential buy low spot for Atlas off of the loss. We're seeing 2.5. There are 1.5s out there. So, as everyone always says, shop around. But yeah, I mean, the thing is last week I came on here and was like, Denver Outlaws don't deserve to be a favorite. And what did they do? They not only won as a favorite, they covered with flying color. I'm not a big Tim Sudan guy. That's the head coach of Denver. He's actually never defeated the Atlas. So, he hasn't really been a great favorite. He kind of dispelled that in a 1-game sample size. Can he finally get the win? He's never had a roster like he has currently. So I think this might be one that Tim Sudan has circled. So if you're taking that 2.5, I would definitely be sprinkled on the money line. You can find Denver as high as almost 2-1. So that might be, it might be a square play, but I just don't think this Atlas team is as good as they showed through the first 4 weeks. And I guess the one thing that might give them the credence is that Atlas is going to be make it, take it, because they have the face-off advantage for sure in this game. That's what they typically have with the MVP Trevor Baptiste. So the thing is, this week, guys, I'm sure you hear me, like, I'm non-committal. I don't love anything here, and I think it's apropos that I don't want to bet anything when these games are in stupid Boston. I think it very much fits that I don't love this board.
Yes, Boston. No one likes Boston. Trash town. Now, Newbie, of course. I don't have the soundboard at my disposal, so maybe you'll have to give us the baby whale sound effect, and of course the baby whale play.
I got you, boys. We're coming with a little baby whale. Let's do it. And probably Dog's going to start barking with that one. We're swinging back up. We might not be able to bet on our Redwoods, Kramer, but we can bet on some point totals over. Our first winner of the year was actually on Rob Pennell going over, and we're going back to the well, not on Pennell, who also has a 3.5 that's juiced, and you can get some plus money on the over there. Could be worth a look, but we're going with Wes Berg. Strong name there. We're going over the 2.5 points for him. This number is just too low. The dude is shooting 100%. 100% of the shots that he has put on cage have gone in. 6 total shots, 6 total goals. last year when they brought him in here and he became a Redwood, this was the team that he tied the most points that he had with the Cannons. He had 3 points and 4 points in 2 outings against this team. So even with that stout defense that they have, he's shown that this is a team that he can get after. And I mentioned with you guys earlier as well, he was chirping a little bit after the game. He was like, if we're just drawing up plays on a chalkboard or you know, a whiteboard, this is what you're going to get. So he's essentially saying, like, let us play free form. Coach Nat St. Laurent, you got to get out of the kitchen and let the boys cook. If you're going to be throwing down the gauntlet like that, Mr. Berg, you better come proper and cook, or you're going to be heading to Benchville. So I think he can walk the walk. He can talk the talk. This guy is a finisher. When he's on the doorstep, it's an automatic goal, and I think he finds it with regularity. 2.5 points, way too low, boys, and only minus 115. Give me the over. And that's how we're playing the whale play.
Love it.
Let's go.
Appreciate you calling in. As always, newbie, check him out on the Bet on Lacrosse podcast. And happy 4th of July, man. Let it ride.
You too, buddy. And I'm with you as well. No JPPs. Little stray bullet on the way out for our man Kramer. But boys, have a terrific 4th of July. You guys rocked it on VSiN, by the way. Always love when you guys are over there. So we'll see you. Have a good one, boys.
Cheers,
Let it
man.
ride. Hey, underdogfantasy.com, good place to get down on some LAX. They got Lacrosse in their pick'em. They got PLL in their pick'em. What more could you want? And of course, the best ball drafts, keeping us sane in the summer, talking National Football League. Best Ball Mania, $15 million in prizes. You cannot go wrong there. Fun way to spend an afternoon, putting out there $25. And again, use that promo code SGPN. You can deposit bonus up to $250. You can get a nice pick'em special. They got you covered. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Circa Sports. We're at Circa right now. Love Circa. Always a great place to hang out, stadium swim. I mean, just an awesome, awesome facility here. You should come out. Sign up for one of the contests. Circa Million, Circa Survivor. Take a splash on either or both. I know I'm going to be playing both. Kramer's going to be getting down on both as well, I'm sure. And yeah, just great time. Great contest that Derek runs. $16 million in guaranteed prizes. You don't have to be in Las Vegas or the state of Nevada to enter. You can sign up out here and play from anywhere thanks to our proxy, a football contest, proxy.com. Promo code SGP, get your $50 off your proxy fees, get you set up. So head out here, sign up for the contest, circusports.com. Kramer.
Yes.
What were you up to there off the side of the room?
I was just realizing we're in team gear today.
Yes, I'm wearing these sweet D-Gens only, the Dream Team knockoff. Get some of these in the old merch store while they last. Joining us on the line from an undisclosed location, the Lax Laddie himself, Mr. C.J. Sullivan. CJ, you're rocking the gold PLL hat in honor of your Chaos, who are on a bye. How are we feeling about the Chaos?
Chaos are on a bye, and I did notice you getting all the Blaze credit when I was off the window. There he is. But I'm fine. I'm fine with all the Blaze shout-outs you can get. Only Jesus says more than Blaze. Unders until further notice, obviously. I'm fine with the Chaos. We're where we're at. That's okay. We can lock down. Bye couldn't have come at a better opportunity. That's why I'm rocking the Rob Lowe, just representing the league this year. I just want to see some good matches this weekend in the Boston area, as you already said, was trash. I am at a location here in the Marina Del Rey area, and I thought I heard some whale noises overhead through the street there, but I realized it was actually, it was actually in the headphones. So there's some whale watching there, and the whale noises here through with our man Newbie and the West Burgers. So I'm surrounded by whales all over the place. So I'm loving it.
Well, and probably some PLL whales out there firing on some plays. Kramer, let's get to it. Week 5 lines. What do we got? What are we looking at?
I know. I was looking at the slate, and I'm like, well, I have zero confidence in my Redwoods. At least I know I got a Blaze under that's going to come in. Nope. They take the Chaos off the schedule. I guess Scorpions can't handle the harsh streets of Boston. We're back to homecoming. So last week we had all 8 teams in action. Now we're heading back to the Northeast, where this league likes to hold their biases. And once again, the Redwoods dealt a raw deal getting the opening game of homecoming weekend, which has not fared well. What? What's wrong,
Sean?
I
thought you were going to complain about the time of the game starting.
Oh, not the time. But the league, once again, puts them in the least advantageous spot. Opening game for homecoming has been very strong for the home team, and it's reflected in the line. -2.5, -110 there, -120 coming back the other way. Redwoods +190 on the money line. 24.5 is the total. My concern is in watching my Redwoods is that a lot of these teams, there's definitely, you can see it's a game of adjustments. The defense is doing X, they make a switch, and all of a sudden it's a run of goals, because that seems to be how this game works. The Denver Outlaw game, good example of that. They absolutely locked down Brennan O'Neill with a bunch of Notre Dame boys, and it had to change the outlook of the game, or at least they had to adjust. And so back to this Redwoods team. They don't seem to know how to adjust. And I keep hearing the stuff about the coach, and it's starting to concern me. You have questions about the coach already, which I think was somewhat related to the long price in the futures market. And he couldn't figure out how to get one of his best players and his top traded asset into the game opening weekend. Couldn't make a phone call to some middle management over at a hedge fund. And now you got players calling him out. This is bad news. I don't care about the 2.5-point trend. I'm fading the Redwoods until further notice.
Wow.
Wow.
See, this is when you have to get on the
right.
This is when you get on the Redwoods, Kramer. This is when you got fiery press conferences. You got the baby whale tied to a Redwoods player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm all over the Redwoods here, +2.5. This Cannon team, I know they've been rolling, but they feel a little bit fraudulent, if you ask me. Love faded Boston this time of year. I also like the under 24.5. The Woods offense has been a bit shitty, I guess would be the word. So I don't think this is going to be a shootout, but I got this. This feels like a 10-12 game. Either way, Cali, the Woods, they're rolling. They get the cover. CJ, how do you see this?
Yeah, I don't know if this is a reverse jinx Kramer's coming with, but the bailing shit we saw. I guess we each take our role. I worried about my chaos. Now I guess next week is when I jump ship. You jumped your ship on your Waterdogs, and you rallied them for their first win. And now Kramer's going the same thing with his Woods, and they come in winless. I like them coming out. You're talking about Boston being a little bit fraudulent, which they are. Let's not forget about Kramer tweeting out Boston is trash. Just a couple weeks ago. Was an
ice cold take.
Right, ice cold take. And now they're the hottest team in the league, according to Newby. They are. I tell you that they lead the league in 2-point goals. So if you peel the layers of that, you can say that's not sustainable. You know what I mean? They played Philly, and they didn't get as many tallies, but they're getting the 2-pointers in there. So I think they are. I think there's a little bit of trash in there. I like Ryder Garnsey. He's got 11 points through 3 games. He leads the team in points, assists, and shooting. And who I like when they talk about Baptiste is the big face-off guy, but California's got one there too, and that TD Lerland. And he is probably second, I think, in the league in face-off percentages and just dominating. And so when you get him on the line, on the chalk, the make-it-take-it situation, you get a desperate team. I like that they're calling each other out. I like that they're throwing a coach under the bus. And I like that the league's against him. And they did put him in the first game in Boston. 4th of July, Paul Revere, shove it up their ass. Let's go, Redwoods.
Yeah,
I'm taking 2.5, and I like the money line too here.
1 if by land, 2 if by sea. I think, not a reverse jinx here. I think this is an authentic take, and Boston, great team. Absolutely great team. And I will say, CJ, please, it's a face-off athlete that we have with my Woods.
Yeah.
Now, Kramer, are we and CJ, any thoughts on the totals there, gentlemen? The trend is, I guess, the over, but I think this is a different chaos team. The matchup is 4-0 to the over. 3 of the games were at 24.5, which is what we're seeing right now. But I don't know. This Woods, I realize I'm on the Woods. I just don't think this is going to be a shootout style game. So I'm looking towards the under. Don't love the total, but Kramer, what are you doing total wise?
I'm never taking it over in a Redwoods game until further notice.
Until further notice. Until the wheels fall off. I do worry about my guy Asher Nolding. He had 7 turnovers last week, so he's going to have a big bounce back spot, and he's just been tearing it up, and he'll have a nice big game. But 24.5, it does seem a bit high for any game involving these California Redwoods. So I will lean under, but my favorite play, California plus 2.5, so I'll go money line and under.
Let's get it.
All right, next up, we got Brendan O'Neill, all-world, basically LeBron James of lacrosse, and the Denver Outlaws, who apparently Mark Schlereth is a fan of. Not a fan of Lamar Jackson, a fan of the Denver Outlaws. They are taking on, again, another West Coast team having to face an East Coast team in the East. New York laying 2.5, or plus 110 there for the spread, minus 140 coming back, plus 160 on the Outlaws money line. 26.5 is the total. Like Newby was saying, these 2.5 point spreads both seem to be there's some variance in the marketplace, some 1.5s out there. That being said, New York, best team in the league, unbeatable. Any chance for the Denver Outlaws here, CJ?
Absolutely. I think the Emperor has no clothes with this New York team, and if they got exposed by the Whipsnakes, for crying out loud. I mean, it's about time some regression comes with New York. And not only is this our man Brendan O'Neill, but New York has been on fire. Connor Schellenberger was the number 2 pick. So this is the 1-2. This is your LeBron versus Carmelo, basically. You know, and they face off. Schellenberger's got 20 points. Brendan O'Neill's got 13. They're both they're second and third in the league in points per game. These two rookies. So they have a little rivalry going, I think. And when that comes to shove, who's going to win, LeBron or Carmelo?
LeBron all day, baby. Let's
go. Going LeBron all day. We're going Brendan O'Neill. I love this. I'm starting to really like this Denver team. So plus 2.5, I'm going to gobble that up. I think New York's going to come down. I think this line is not going to be like this for the rest of the year. I mean, they will come not middle of the pack, but I mean, they're not going to go like a 9-1 team for any chance. So give me Denver. I do kind of like the over, even though the number is huge. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think all these New York games have been overs, but yeah, I see the regression coming, and I like this Denver team. I love Brendan O'Neill. Put him on the shoulders.
Since 2021, New York Atlas is just 9-16 ATS as favorites. And this Denver team, Brendan O'Neill struggled to score last time. You know, they had the inside Iggy on how to defend him from all those Notre Dame lax heads. I think in some ways that was good for them. That, hey, we can, this is your Matthew Dellavedova hitting some 3-pointers. Other guys on the Cavs can score. J.R. Smith got hot. I don't know who the J.R. Smith equivalent is on the Denver Outlaws, but whoever that is, they got some confidence. They realized, hey, we can win without Brendan O'Neill scoring 6 goals in a row. I love this spot for the Outlaws. I think New York Atlas got rattled there a little bit. So I like Denver plus 2.5. I, again, don't love the total, but I would go over 26.5. I feel like there's some issues with the Atlas goalkeeping, but over 26.5 and Denver. And I think I could see Denver of the 2.5 point dogs. I kind of like Denver a little bit better.
I will say there was goalie situations with New York, and they brought in Liam Entman in the fourth quarter, and he kind of lit it up. They say he's a generational. I don't know why he's on the bench, but they say he's a generational talent. And all this talks about this
generational talent who can't find the field.
Yeah, they haven't announced a starter yet, but if he is announced a starter, that could be trouble if he is prolific. If you're playing your DFS and you're playing your gold coins or whatever however the situation is with the lacrosse, but people do love him. So if he goes in there, that might. I don't understand why they wouldn't play him, especially because they do have problems. But so that's why I do like this over, and I like this Denver team. But I do like. I bet J.R. Smith, by the way, is a lacrosse fan. He's on a golf team for North Carolina, for crying out loud.
He might end up making the league.
Talk about an all-time life twist. Like 10 years ago when J.R. Smith was buying that tank as a member of the New York Knicks, did you think he was going to be going back to school to get his degree like Larry Fitzgerald? I don't think so, especially as a member of a golf team. That's the funniest part. Yeah, I think the Denver Outlaws, there's some youth here, right? And I think the last game, what we saw was Brendan O'Neill got taken away by a very specific style of defense that Notre Dame had deployed on him in college, and it's going to show the whole league about this. And the way the Outlaws responded was that people did step up, which again, not something I'm seeing with my Woods right now. This Outlaws team certainly is fun. I might have to. I don't delete many posts on X, but I might have to delete my Brennan O'Neill rage tweet from last week. And yeah, I think you have to the 2.5, the money line, whatever you got to do. That's fine. And yeah, like as an under guy, this is an over game.
Really? So you're going over actually here?
I see that. I don't think Denver plays very good defense. I watched that game closely last week, and I think they don't play very good defense. And I think they're going to have this feels like a track. This is like a dome game. This is football. We're talking about some sort of high-powered dome game here. Rams, Chiefs, or something.
Hey, have you signed up with Rhythm? If not, what are you waiting for? sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, the place for AI sports picks and props. You get the WNBA. They've been on a heater. Golf, they're doing really well. Hit some top 20s, some top 5s, some top 10s. You can I was playing around with my own golf model. I know what you're saying. Sean, you can't figure out a golf model. Well, that's why you got the old eggheads at Rhythm to figure it out for you. I say, hey, I like course form and recent play. Those are the factors that matter to me. Boom, they spit out a golf model, and they even tell you how that golf model has done. So you can continue dialed in, use the models you want, or have Rhythm build your own model for you. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. Get you set up, get you the 7-day free trial, and get you some winners. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm.
All right. Heading this. Oh, so the games are actually on Friday. I don't think I mentioned it, but the games are on Friday and Saturday this week. So celebrating the 4th. So nice little weekend with the family. And I believe these games are being played at Harvard. So
Harvard Yard.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people pocking the cat at the Harvard Yard. Utah Archers, Maryland Whipsnakes, which I might also have to take back some of the things I've said about the Whipsnakes. As a fan of snakes in general, boy, not a fan of Utah. Not after what they did to that poor kid from Duke. Maryland +1.5, -140, +110 the other way for Utah. On the money line, it's close, -130 for the Archers, a short favorite. Maryland even money. 24 is the total. Not a totals guy, but once again, I'm looking down the barrel of seems like a clear over game. But yeah, I don't know. I think it really kind of set with me last week when Newbie said this Archers team seems a bit overrated, and basically we got excited after one game. So Utah, we're gonna do some more power rankings next week for the All-Star game weekend. Teaser alert: Utah stock down. Give me Maryland.
Maryland. So Ryan, are you taking are you laying the 1.5, or are you just taking the money line at -130? Right.
I'll let you guys go, and I figure we'll workshop it together. But I would imagine the +1.5 will be worth taking here.
Total wise, this matchup is 5-0 to the over since 2021. I'm not going to get in the way there. I don't know. I'm going back and forth on this one because part of me wants to take Maryland as recent form, but then part of me is just like, well, we were all so amped up for Utah. Maybe that was a little bit about just Boston Cannons having a nice run there. I feel like maybe the play is Maryland there. CJ, what are you doing here? This one's tough.
This is a tough one, and Utah hurt us last week. They hurt me.
Oh,
hurt me bad. That was
hurt us all. We triple locked him. We should have known better.
We triple locked. That was the thing. That's why I do kind of think it's a buy low spot. Now, Maryland and the Whipsnakes, of course, they've won 2 in a row after looking awful coming out the gate. And then Utah, we thought they were great. We thought that, maybe the Philly win was a little overrated because they don't have a face-off man. And then they blew that huge lead versus Brennan O'Neill. But and now they haven't recovered. I think this is a bounce back spot for them. So I think it's a small number here. Was it -130? Just a money line. Yeah. I kind of like that. You'll like this matchup, Sean. Grant Ament for Utah and TJ Malone, the rookie for Maryland. High school and college teammates at Penn State, Nittany Lions, and the Haverford School, of course, out there in a very, very not public school, if you can imagine anything called the Haverford. But they are high school college teammates. They'll be going at it. Grant Ament, of course, having a little renaissance season. He's got 13 points through 4 games. That equals his stats from last year combined as he's kicking off. But TJ Malone's been tearing it up. He has 13 points in 4 games as well, and he's as a rookie. So I think he's a little bit
TJ Malone. I know it's basically Brendan O'Neill's award to lose, seemingly, but TJ Malone, Rookie of the Year. We might want to look at that as a price. Even though I am with you, CJ, I think Utah is the play, especially on the short money line. I feel like the more I think about this, the Archers, that was just kind of a bad spot. I'm with you.
So the odds for Rookie of the Year actually are Schellenberger. Connor Schellenberger is the favorite, minus 185, and you can still get Brendan O'Neill for plus 145. TJ Malone is 20-1 in terms of your number right there, Sean. But maybe there's still value on Brendan O'Neill. It does seem like he had, like, if there's anyone that's going to transcend the game into, like, I don't want to call it TMZ stardom, but whatever the level above us is, it's certainly more likely to be Brendan O'Neill in my mind. So are we co-signing a Rookie of the Year bet, even though it's late?
Yeah, I love it. Well, and this is the matchup this week versus Schellenberger. This is your Carmelo versus LeBron. This is you got to get it now before this week because this number is about to flip.
And sorry, Kramer, what'd you say TJ Malone was?
20-1.
That one's not bad either. I mean,
let's go talk to Benson and get these numbers put up at the Circa. We need to get down. We
need some paper PLL tickets. Come on.
All right. So we're all on the over, and I'm on an island, I guess. We'll see. Maybe Utah
Island.
Utah wins by a goal.
Not a great sign for the Maryland Whipsnakes and the PLL in the league. If you Google Maryland Whipsnakes, you got to go to like page 5 of Google to actually find stuff that's not about the snakes. There, I thought Whipsnakes was like a made up thing, but it's real.
Yeah, it's real. They're close relatives to the trouser snake, I believe. 4 p.m. on Sunday.
Not real.
Philly, the Waterdogs, Boston Cannons, the second game of the doubleheader. Cannons laying the 1.5 plus 114. To take the 1.5, you got to lay minus 145. The money line's basically split minus 110 for the Waterdogs. Cannons minus 120. 25 is the total. This game, actually, this is the game that if we were allowed to lean, this might be a lean for me, Sean. But CJ, which way are we? I'm not going to let Sean go first because he's going to be obnoxiously pro Philly. You are an objective fan of the sport, as you're showing with this beautiful PLL hat.
Yep.
Who are we taking here in the latest chapter in the Philly Boston rivalry?
Representing the league. Now, Philly is coming off, of course, their first win of the season with their face-off expert. That did rally them. They did score a 1 of 10. They finally got some 2-point goals for the first time in the season. That started coming up. They needed it versus Blaze. Boston on the second game of their homecoming. A lot of it depends will they take care of your Redwoods like you say so. I think they lose to them, which would make them bounce back in a spot versus Philly. Have we got enough data yet on the second game of these homecomings?
Well, there's only been three weeks,
right?
That we can sample against. But if we look at the 3 weeks, it's not been a good spot for the homecoming team, other than the New York Atlas. Now,
there's, of course, the revenge angle. This is a week 3 rematch, of course, which Boston won 12-11, a game they had no business winning. But the Whipsnakes, I think this is the game that started the rant, the stick to the Sean, calling out the commissioner, calling out the team, calling out the organization. Oh, it's a fan base. Now, I, of course, who adapted Carolina as my team, have had a great vacation of rooting against a Philly team for once in my life, and I'm loving it. I feel it's therapeutic. I get into all the stereotypes. These Philly trash fans who call out their own coaches and their own style of play, and they demand people get fired and hired on a whim. And now they think all is right in the world, and they think it's going to go. I'll take Boston in this. I'll take Boston, as Newbie said, the hottest team in the league. I don't think Philly fixed anything by getting a guy who they brought in and threw away and brought him in. Hey, win a couple faceoffs for us. I don't think that changed a damn thing. I love Michael Sowers. I think Keenan McCardle and Jimmy Smith, whoever the other receiver was they had for the Jaguars. He had a career game almost last week. That's not going to happen again. Give me Boston.
Come on. So sweetie Sowers. I love Michael Sowers. He's a dark horse MVP candidate. What do you mean? This is the perfect time. They lost in overtime. They outplayed them. As you pointed out, CJ, they, going into their first victory, they actually had more tallies, aka goals, than their opponents. They were just, you want to talk about 2-point regression. I mean, the Waterdogs are, if you like PLL analytics, you should be all over this Waterdogs team. They finally got a 2-pointer in. They're tracking the ball great. Old windbag coach. They finally, you got a young face-off guy. It's tough doing the episode without my stick. I really miss whacking my stick around while I'm talking lacrosse. But I love
Sean,
Philly here.
I asked you if we should bring our sticks to Vegas, and you said no. I don't want to hear anything from you.
I regretted it, Ryan. I regretted it.
That'd be an amazing oversized bag, checking baggage area.
Southwest,
just sticks
free on
out.
Southwest. That would be fun, just to put the little tag on this thing and check it in the oversized bag. I wonder if they'd let you on. CJ, you famously weren't allowed to get through security with a metal clipboard at Burbank Airport. I wonder if they'd let you on with a lacrosse stick.
My clipboard was seized at Burbank Airport, one of the easiest things to get things through, because they said it was too sharp, not the actual clipboard itself, but the plays on the clipboard were too sharp, and Vegas was worried, so they sent out a letter. I did get a replacement though right here. It's from Staples, so I had always have a backup with my stat laxes. But like I said, I know what you're saying though with Philly, but I'm just leaning too into being the anti-Philly fan for this league and this league only. So screw Philly every time we can, especially now that I'm a Boston fan.
Virgil saying Sowers is not a dark horse. What the fuck are you talking about? All right, Virgil, come on. I'm drinking that dog water. Okay, Virgil, don't let the dogs get wet.
I'd be careful, Sean. I'd be careful saying anything mean to Virgil. He's been
lax.
Yes,
so
he
maybe
does.
And he's been whipping out his trouser snake for a minute. So I think he's
that sounds like a CJ. That sounds like a CJ fan if I've ever heard one.
A C-generate. We welcome that.
You got to take Philly here. I'm going to lean into the trend. Second game in homecoming. Not good now that the season's in order. The first week was different. And you got to take the under here. And but I will be back to saying Boston sucks by this game. I can confirm.
Trash, I believe, was the quote.
Yeah, Boston, you're right. But now they suck.
Boston 3-1 to the under. Philly 3-1 to the under. No love loss here. They only got to 23 in overtime. This is a much improved Waterdogs team now that they can win an actual fucking face-off.
Can we have a quick conversation about the futures?
Sure.
Yes.
There are 8 teams. 6 makes the playoff, and the California Redwoods are. I know I'm against the Redwoods, and maybe the advice is to take them next week after they lose, but they're 30-1 right now.
To win it all or to make the playoffs?
There are only 2 games, like they're 2 wins back, but they've only played 3 games. The Chaos have played 5. This is an astonishing price to offer in an 8-team league.
I guess it really is. It's but what is this Redwood ceiling is the concern.
All right.
If they so they're gonna lose this week, be 0-4. Yeah. Then we buy it at like 50-1. And if they make the playoffs as the 6th seed, I mean, what an amazing sweat we get.
How liquid is the PLL futures market? Are we going to get some buyback opportunity on this?
I mean, it's they clearly have no idea what they're doing if they're offering it 30-1 in an 8-team league where 6 teams make
or maybe they watch the Cali Redwoods and know they're going to get rolled.
Yeah, I know. I just can't get there. I love those numbers, but I mean, Redwoods got to show me something. What are some other numbers? You're a guy,
there? CJ. You love a number, and you're not even willing to take it.
I do love a number.
The rest of the league: Atlas, the favorite at +250; Boston +450; 6-1 for the Archers; 650 for the Waterdogs; 850 for the Cannons; 850 or 750 for the Whipsnakes; 850 for the Cannons; 850 for the Outlaws. For me, it would be like take a piece of the Outlaws, maybe.
What about the Chaos?
Oh, I left them off because they're not playing this week.
Oh my God.
But the Chaos don't exist anymore. The Chaos are +850 as well.
I mean,
I love both. I love Denver and Chaos. Right.
Chaos are going to be interesting.
Boston plus 450. If I said that wrong.
Yeah, Boston fade that. Chaos could be interesting. I mean, Blaze is a guy that, if he's standing on his head in the playoffs, which I assume you can apply that to lacrosse as well. Look out, because again, a great goalie is such a game changer in this league. Right. Very fortunate. Feel very fortunate. The Dogs
can win any game.
Just another version of the same thing. Philly is only one game closer to being in the playoffs. Their price is again plus 650. The California Redwoods also not in the playoffs and 2 games out. Really one and a 1.5 or whatever. And it's 30 to 1, and we're gonna have like a 50 to 1 next week. We're getting rich off of this. I'm putting
the only thing I disagree with you is waiting until next week. I think you better get down on them before they get this outright win on Friday night. They're coming in hot early on. They know the schedule now. They know they got to come cross country, be the first one off the plane and into the pitch or into the diamond or into the, get ready to go and get that first game under their belts.
I'm back. Roll Woods. Fuck Boston. Let's go.
They're winning this game plus 200. Give me the 30 to 1 too. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So quick little updating. We had a question on the Archers Whipsnakes. We were all like the over there. CJ and I like Utah on the money line. Kramer like the Snakes plus 1.5. I assume we're all on the under for Waterdogs Cannon sitting at 25.
Yep.
Yeah, under for that.
CJ, the lone loser there, taking Boston at minus 120.
I only took Boston actually to help out your Waterdogs because when we go across the board like Utah last week, I mean that's just complete. And to be honest with you, Kramer kind of bullied me into it there with that whole introduction of not wanting to hear it. And I started feeling like, you know what, you're right. Fuck these Philly fans. This is the only time I get to say it. They're gonna get too arrogant about
it. Kramer, before we give out our lock, and Polay, we had some questions about the hot dog eating contest. We didn't get a chance to do it yet as a podcast, but we did have Noah Beanick on the VSiN show talking hot dog eating contest. Patrick Bertoletti at 10 to 1. That is my play. He's looking pretty solid there in some of the I don't know what you call them, like a warm-up game, a qualifier match. I know Noah liked Bertoletti at 10 to 1, and then he also liked James Webb. Webb is plus 175. I'm not going to be giving out anything that low for a wide open hot dog eating contest. So give me Patrick Bertoletti. Maybe Italian sausages is more what he's used to chowing down on, but Bertoletti at 10 to 1 feels like a great play. So I'm going to toss that in here because we don't have a separate hot dog eating contest podcast. Kramer, any plays you want to give out for the hot dog eating contest?
Yeah, we have an article on the website though, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Again, Noah, all the words he writes, he has matchup props. He's got totals. He even teaches you that humidity is going to bring the hot dog total down. So yeah, however you want to dive into the hot dog contest, Noah's got you covered.
And then take those numbers because Underdog Fantasy has the hot dog eating fantasy projections. You can put the hot dog eating contest in a pick'em, higher, lower. It sounds like Noah is leaning towards some of these lowers.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be humid and hot, it definitely seems like that's going to drive the numbers down. And I will take the chalk here. This is his name, Webb. Because if you've not seen the video of him working out,
is hilarious.
He's training with this like chew toy in his mouth to get his jaw muscles up. I mean, how are you going to fade this guy? Are you real? The other guy retired for 10 years, Sean. He's going to have a reversal of fortune.
So did Nick Foles was out of the game for a while, came back. Nice long shot. CJ, anything you want to toss in for the hot dog eating contest before we go with the lock, and Polay?
I'm opposed to the hot dog eating contests. I don't like when they allowed skinny people to come in and dominate and add their sabermetrics and and bringing water and separating the bun. That's not what it's all about. We had one thing that we were good at, one event. They had to take it, and they come in there with their dance con. They start with Kobayashi and Chestnut. I mean, you're supposed to have shame. They have, they're dancing. They have six packs. You're supposed to have a cape and a mask maybe and get at, the best hot dog eating contest I'll ever say real quick. William Refrigerator Perry entered at one time. And he was just there for a free meal. He had condiments, 8 buns. He ate 5.5, and he saw a rigged game when he knew it, and he got out of there. He had a meal on the way there, so screw that. But I do like I like Noah's handicap there of using global warming to rock some of those unders.
Yeah.
All right, lock, and Pole. Kramer, you're up first. What do you got?
I will say, I would absolutely be the one to be eating the hot dogs with the condiments as well, and then just say I ate the most actual hot dogs.
Yeah, you ate a hot dog.
Yeah, I ate the most. All right, lock number 1. It's got to be Denver. I'll go with the 2.5. It's just it's a very big number, and I'm telling that team looks like they're young. They're gonna get better as the season goes on. I would also say I'm gonna pick up a piece of their future at plus 850 as well. Very dynamic. Reminds me of the Thunder when it was KD and Russ. Just so much potential. Unfortunately, Harden showed up and ruined the whole thing. Lock number 2. Again, Utah stock down. Give me Maryland plus the 1.5. And for my Pole, these two games, Denver and New York and Utah, Maryland, seem like just obvious overplays. So I'm going to do a rare over. Give me the over in the Denver Outlaw, New York Atlas game. Give me the over in the Utah Archer, Maryland Whipsnake game. Parlayed or Pole. I'm sorry, Pole.
Maryland over. All right, for me, it's pretty easy. Give me the Outlaws plus 2.5. Give me the Waterdogs minus 110. The Dogs, now that come on, man, they needed a face-off guy. That's all they needed. And the Pole is very simple. Denver on the money line, Philly on the money line. That is a nice, juicy payout. CJ, how say you?
I'm also teetering around you guys. You gotta take that Denver plus 2.5. I love that, of course. But I also like the second one's California plus 2.5. I love a hungry, winless team that's calling out the coach, and they're angry. They know how to play this first game. Know that the league's against them. So now it's an us against the world. I'm gonna have to adapt Kramer's team for him since he abandoned them. Someone's got to pick him up off the streets since they're just out there, give him a home. Hey, you need a couch to sit on there, California Redwoods? Come on in. Let me get you right. So California plus 2.5, Denver plus 2.5, and a Pole. Both those money lines if you want a real juicy payout. Kramer, you want to calculate that one for me? Plus 160 times plus 200.
So 3. That's like 8 to 1.
Woo! 8 to 1 for a Redwood Outlaw outright. Come on now, that'll be done by Friday night.
Yeah.
What more do you want? Thank you everyone for tuning in. As always, remember Berg was a baby whale play, higher 2.5 points there from our buddy Newbie. Check out Newbie. Check out the man in the box, aka Bottom Line Bombs. Happy 4th of July, everyone. And next week we got college football conference conference previews coming up. So stay tuned. Smash that subscribe button, and of course, for the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Go Redwoods.
Kramer. Let it ride. Hey.